she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped. You jest. Yet, he did seem a ghost to me. A shadow of the father I loved. He resurrected me with magic so foul, I nearly retch just thinking of it. I didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak, could only run. I found last light within the shadows, made a shelter there, prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land, my home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them, and myself, no matter what. I did. Who would trust the next of kin of Ketheric Thorm? But I have no more secrets. It's all out in the open now, and with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing, rest. I'm grateful for your help, your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long, but I'm grateful for a safe place to, well, just to be.
There you are. I was wondering where the devil you'd been. That sounds slimy. Never mind your distasteful predilections. We need to talk about Wulbren. You'll what? Tie me to a windmill? Enslave me in the Underdark? Smack me upside the head? I assure you, circumstance has beaten you to it. Wulbren and the Iron Hand Gnomes are planning something dreadful in the city. They have rune powder, they have motive. We have to stop them. I'll not deny he wounded me. I cared for Wulbren. Care for him, really. But he's acting like a true idiot. It isn't the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But I won't let him hurt anyone. Or himself. Because they're a gaggle of vindictive crybabies with no sense of propriety. That is to say, they gabbed about their plans like a geese, and I overheard them. Like a very devious goose. With the sword of justice in one hand and the shield of self-righteousness in the other, we most certainly will. To saving the city. And my fool of a friend.
Go home, Marcus, he says. Ha!
I owe you an apology. In a sense, yes. But that's because I didn't know what you were capable of. I saw you as a means to escape, nothing more. But when the sky lit up, when I followed it here, I knew you were behind it. I apologize for not seeing your true worth, and for being, quite frankly, rude in Last Light. And that's precise. The Iron Hand gnomes are going to save the city. And you can be part of it. The plan is what problem is. Find me. Bring every scrap of courage you...
Of the Absolute alive. Thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric. But Ketheric...
You were caught casting a forbidden spell. This guard's come to make sure you don't do it again. You've convinced them, for now.
The gate is west of the town. If we hurry, we'll arrive before the Absolute's forces. The road to Baldur's Gate is up ahead. No turning back once we start down that road. The Shadow Curse will soon be forgotten, thanks to us. The Absolute's armies are on the march, and Baldur's Gate is their target.
The shadows are losing their grip on these lands. Shah can indeed be thwarted. Comforting to know. You wanted something?
I think we've done rather a good thing here. A welcome change to give this land a sliver of hope amongst so much despair.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker-in, historically.
To Baldur's Gate. Voss will be waiting in this Sharess's caress.
I, for one, will miss the Shadow Curse. For all the pain it caused us, it did at least obscure the incessant sun. I take no pleasure in his passing. Whatever faults he may have had, Ketheric was a great leader. Life was crueler to him than death. It is no great wonder that he found his strength in Merkel. I believe he was an honorable man, but the gods used him as their plaything. First, Shah and her sister, then the three behind the Absolute. I sympathize. A meaningless question. If he had killed us and conquered the Sword Coast, I would envy him. As it is, he lost, and I pity him. But I will never forgive him for handing me to Orin. For that, I hope Merkel hollows out his bones and lets them be dust.
You did it. Ketheric Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal. I would agree. But patience is needed. Nature moves at its own pace, and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
This vessel is at thine disposal. Do what thou wilt.
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark. Dost thou require a new ally? Very well. Impossible. Thy party is full, as thou did choose.
Stop me yet.
Ah, I shall be here in thy camp. For as thou...
All right. What now?
This vessel is at thine
But the vessel only stares blankly. You'll need to make room in your party first.
Looking ahead.
We meet at... I shall be here in thy camp. As thou...
Never a dull moment.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Thy will. Dost thou require a new ally?
You wanted something? A bit crowded, don't you think? You'll need to swap out someone if you want me. Wonderful. You wanted something?
This vessel is at thy disposal.
I would not linger in this land over long. But, whatever your business...
Light, never quiet.
Thaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him. I can't say for certain, but we'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready. No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Thaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish. I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does. No, my friend. The only thing I ask of you is to allow me by your side on the road ahead. I still owe you a debt, and I intend to pay. I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side. And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean.
Thy wheel of fate turns ever. Dost thou require a new
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt.
This vessel is at thine disposal. Do what thou wilt.
The shadows are lifted. Finally, we can breathe free.
You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing down there? Is all of this because of him?
The tadpole, the absolute. How? I'd never have protected a Bay Knight even a decade ago. I looked after that fucker with my life. I trusted him. He gave me away to Zariel without a second thought. And now he's looking to ruin the entire Sword Coast. He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him. He can't get away with what he's done. To me. To us. He won't get away with it.
I can feel it. The engine. It's getting hotter, louder. It's going to blow if we don't find another way to fix it. You know, Zariel may have put the fucking thing in, but Gortash gave her the go-ahead. You expect this shit from devils, but not from the people you care about. Let's get to the city. Got business there I'm highly fucking keen to attend to.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past. Being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shaz.
Secrets. Yes, yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant. Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed. Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere.
What? Who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come, but not yet forearmed. It no longer has the power to harm me, now that I've removed it from Shah's domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough. But I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
I've been lied to. My whole life. And I was gullible enough to just believe it. My parents are alive, and I have to save them. I think a part of me always knew that. A part that Shah denied to me. Indeed. But the truth may yet prove painful. Who knows what Shah still keeps from me? We'd better press on for now, and hope we're ready when the moment comes. But before that, there's one thing I need to see to. You'll see for yourself soon enough. Just leave it with me. I wonder what the next move is.
What to do?
The curse has been lifted. The land's cleansed of the shadows. Kethric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
Sergeant, if you are here, I presume Wern's Rock is secure, and preparations for my inauguration are complete.
No, Lord Gortash. We were interrupted. Another quake in the lower city. More severe this time.
So you came cowering to my chambers? I'm flattered, Sergeant. But even I cannot command natural phenomena to cease.
Forgive me, my lord, but there is panic in the streets. The people are afraid.
Perhaps the people would be calm if you kept your nerve. I expect better from the Flaming Fist than to run scared from a slight tremor in the earth. Get back to your duties.
Duties, duties, duties. Patrolling and saluting and following and bowing and scraping. Yes, sir. No, sir. Rip and cut your throat, sir.
Your plan is falling apart, lordling. Give me a reason not to cut you to ribbons.
Control yourself, Orin. We need to focus on reuniting the stones or the brain will break free. These quakes are just the start. Neither of us expected the prison bearers to kill Ketheric. They'll be traveling to the city. Let's make sure we give them a Baldurian welcome.
My prodigal bloodkin is among them.
They live?
Barely. I made mince of their ugly mind matter. And if they dare return, I will strip out their offal.
Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away.
was supposed to sacrifice myself to stop the Absolute. Yeah, I don't think I could have gone through with it, in truth. And I'm glad that I didn't, given what has come to light. Indeed. Under other circumstances, I might have been subdued or ashamed. But after what we saw, I must admit, I'm excited. The Elder Brain. But more importantly, the crown that it wore. Even without seeing it for myself, I could sense it. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete. I doubted what I was feeling at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power. The ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it. Likely not. If I've done damage to your opinion of me, then I'm truly sorry. But if this crown amounts to what I suspect it is, then your faith will soon be restored, and then some. It's clear crown and brain are intrinsically connected. Given the pressing urgency of us smiting the latter, understanding the former could make all the difference. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep. Sorceress Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can. Book shopping? But yes, their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
It does not surprise me that Shadowheart's faith was based on a lie. Deception is the sum of Shah's design. A true soul came to my city preaching a message of togetherness, accompanied by 2 novices. Menzoberranzan is not fertile ground for such messages. I killed them and hanged their bodies in my garden. I thought so too. This world is full of fools, after all. But in this instance, I was mistaken. Our visitors were not fools. They were bait. Even as the flesh sagged and sloughed away from their eyeless skulls, their audacity infuriated me. I had to know where they came from. And whoever sent them was counting on my curiosity overcoming my caution. Yes. All it took was a simple act of necromancy, and the corpses told me where I needed to strike. Moonrise Towers. Despite Ketheric's best efforts, so are we. And we shall outlast the immortal general and his tower. But he had the upper hand when we first met. I was arrogant enough to believe I had the better of him. As it turned out, to my shame, I was defeated without even drawing my weapon. I came to Moonrise with a retinue of warriors and assassins, the best House Bainray had to offer. I expected a battle, but found a fully laden feast table and a welcome befitting a house matron. Ketheric expected us, expected me, and I fell for his flattery. It is a mistake I hope never to repeat. Ketheric proposed an alliance between Moonrise and Menzoberranzan. I admit I was captivated by him. He invited me to the head of his table as his guest of honor. I was wary, of course. If I had been in his position, the food would have been poisoned. It was not the food I should have been wary of. It was the pale woman at the foot of the table. Orin the Red. We had barely begun to eat when she spoke for the first time. I only caught one word, my name. Then, quick as lightning, she climbed onto the table, a dagger in each hand, and skipped toward me, slicing the throats out of my men as she passed them. Few things frighten me. Orin is one of them. Ketheric held me still. His hand on my shoulder, the grip tight enough to crack the bone. When Orin stood before me, she touched the dagger to my eye, drawing out a tear of blood. "I want this one," she said. Ketheric nodded his permission, and I was taken below. You've seen the horrors of the colony. Orin kept me there for days. She forced me to watch as my men were processed. Some for food, others as thralls. And then she placed the tadpole in my eye herself. That is certain. You know the rest as well as I do. There were massacres before the Grove. Religious communities, mostly. Those who refuse to convert. Then there was you, and now there is freedom. Soon there will be vengeance.
The gate is closed, as is Cazador. And we are no closer to knowing why that bastard is so obsessed with getting me back. I think we should track down my fellow Spawn. I'm not exactly looking forward to a reunion, but perhaps they'll know something. If we can find them, we can force them to tell us what he's been doing since I was gone. And honestly, I imagine they'll be coming for me in the night if I don't. Unless Cazadors change their orders, they'll be in the dens of this town, seeking prey. We should get to them first. Then we can make their pretty tongues talk.
Thy wheel of fate, dost thou require a new act?
Looking forward to a bit of rest, if I'm honest. It's been a long century.
There you are. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer. Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne, hear me! Ketheric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Merkel, is dead at last. My mate, Most High, darling Isabel, is safe and well. Safe and well, and returned to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One. We are a powerful party indeed. Faerun itself trembles at our touch. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it. I am free from my bonds, but not my duty. The dead 3 are risen. The dead 2 remain. You must face them. I will help. Pray, ask, and I will tell. Do I not radiate with my mother's brightness, her glory? There can be no doubt. I am of her silvered flesh, her celestial womb. Ketheric Thorm, father of my one and only love, enslaver of Dame Aelin. Ketheric Thorm never did trust me, even when he worshipped the Moon Maiden. He was threatened by my love for Isabel, by her love for me. When she died, curse the day, the hour, we each of us mourned bitterly. But Ketheric's pain could be touched by no aid, no boundary. He turned to wretched Shah, the Lady of Loss, for relief. And she whispered into his ear, poisoning his mind. He and his loathsome advisor, Balthazar, lured me into the Shadowfell, claimed they'd found someone in need of my aid. There, they trapped me in their infernal cage. I was killed. Murdered, made dead over and over and over by justiciars of every make and kind. I was reborn, for it is my nature. And Ketheric fed upon my immortality all the while. But lo, the brute is dead, and we live! Why, she already has. She has brought her sword to your side, Dame Aelin. So mighty are her wonders, her great wisdom. Together, we will set this fair land free of tyranny and murder.
Poor Shadowheart. She's been jerked around so much. I want to believe the gods keep this world balanced, but sometimes I wonder. Go on. Oh, yes. Swoon. If you're happy, couldn't have said it better myself.
Almost pleasant traveling with company, if you ignore all the less pleasant aspects. Fine. What's on your mind? How are you holding up?
Taken from the light to be raised in darkness. Your truth is finally dawning, Shadowheart. You can follow its light, or you can retreat back into dusk. The truth is finally dawning. Shadowheart can follow its light, or she can retreat back into dusk. Yes, but first a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it? It is. And I did. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the Cult of the Dragon made its move.
The Cult of the Dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
Not just a boy, a Ravengard, schooled in the 4 pillars: courage, insight, strategy, justice. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill, the Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened. In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. As the maelstrom howls, Missoura's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while two devils stood witness. And I said yes. One soul for one city. She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel. Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mazora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie. I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed. He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mazora had swept it clean. After, he said only one word. Go. So I did. It is the one scar I ever bore of it. Mizora replaced it with a sending stone. She uses it to track my location and speak from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world, or the depths of the lower dark, and still never shake her.
Shadowheart was no true child of Shah, merely a captive. She must have her vengeance.
Painful truths have been thrust upon Shadowheart. I believe she is strong enough to endure, But her path will be easier with our support. What would you like to know? I suppose you wouldn't be shocked to learn I love animals and nature? I know. Well-trodden territory. Well then, let's see. I whittle in my spare time, and I've something of a sweet tooth. Although everyone's very amused when I say I like honey. I like what I like. Once you get to my age, you realize there's little point in denying yourself, so long as others aren't affected. "350 years young. I've been privileged to watch saplings grow into mighty boughs. Ornaments, utensils, and ducks. I like ducks. Thank me by returning the favor, why don't you? Come on. I'm sure you've something better than carving wooden ducks. Oh, well. Your choice, of course. Anytime.
Shadowheart has found a little bit of herself again. Soluna cannot take all of the credit. She may have lit the way, but it is the cleric who took this step.
The events of the last days weigh heavily upon you. Sleep's rest is slow to come to one whose mind is so full. The Absolute is not a god, but an elder brain controlled by the chosen of the Dead Three. They mean to use it to take control of the Sword Coast. All who carry the tadpole are governed by the brain, and by extension the chosen. It will take but one order to transform them into an army of mind flayers. This would have been your fate too, were it not for the astral prison and the mysterious visitor inside of it. With her help, you have uncovered the cult for what it really is. A plan of conquest orchestrated by the gods of death themselves. Together, you have the power to thwart the Dead Three. If you follow this path to its end, the Elder Brain will not answer to the Chosen. It will answer to you. And what then? You are prone to impulses as uncontrollable as the gods themselves. Will you even have a say in what you do? Will you liberate the true souls from their parasites and their religious delusions? Or will you use the power you gain for your own purposes? Even as you utter the words to yourself, you know it is but an intention. And these dark desires of yours have little regard for your intentions. You will not have long to wait. All you need to do now is sleep. But sleep is not for you.
The reckoning is upon us! The city thirsts for domination. March! Join power.
You're under attack. Help me!
You lifted harbor up!
Fight your way to the portal. I need your help.
Hope this ends well.
That thing's about to blow.
I'm under attack.
Don't burn yourself.
Eager for battle. I'm ready. Whatever it takes. What's next, I wonder?
Come on, can't stay idle.
Victory awaits.
All right, Karlak. It's go time.
It's not over. Come to the skull. It's not over. Come to the skull. Hurry. I can't hold them back alone. It's not over. Come to the skull.
Gyatt is the source of our protection against the Absolute. I must subdue him, or everything we've worked towards is lost. Don't let my form deceive you. I am the one that's been protecting you. I am the one that came to you in your dreams. Help me. You saved a child from a viper back in the Druid's Grove. You saved the Asuna Night Soul from her soul cage. You let me live last time we were here, though it brought Blackheath's role upon you. Your continued existence as yourself, and not a mind flayer, should be all proof you need. Now, help me. The god. Destroy the god. They prevent me from subduing their master. Do it now!
Aid an illicit against Githyanki. We cannot. We must not!
Your blind loyalty will be your undoing, Lae'zel. Fight with me for your own survival. Together, we can turn the tide.
My path be true.
The rock resists all attempts to shatter it.
Can't give up. Not now. Have to keep going.
Seems like the best way. Let's get this over with.
Destroy the Honor Guard.
Ready for this?
Don't look at me like that. I am a mind flayer, yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
It's obscene to owe my life to a damned geich. No more lies, no more tricks. I will have answers!
I suppose it was considerate of you not to bring it up before. And I ask that you do not judge me for it now. I was someone once. Someone just like you. An adventurer. I came from Baldur's Gate, though I was never one to be constrained by circumstance. I longed for more. That longing brought me to Moonrise Towers on a search for treasure. To a colony of mind flayers who caught me, changed me into what I am now. For years, I served the Elder Brain, the one you know as the Absolute. I was a thrall like any other, but I was fortunate. I broke free and started a new life in my old city. I sustained myself on criminals. Unglamorous, but there are plenty of them. Rarely missed. And they fueled me while I did my work. I had the good fortune to meet Duke Stelmane. We formed a partnership, and through her, I became the governing force behind the Knights of the Shield. The largest mercantile operation in Baldur's Gate. People referred to me as the Emperor. Such was my influence. Though of course they had no idea what I really was. My needs were sated. I was happy for a while. Until my true nature was discovered by the tyrant himself, Lord Gortash. He tore me from my home and brought me back to the Brain, where I became a slave once again. A slave he continued to call me Emperor. The name was intended as a slight, to remind me of the heights from which I fell. But I have grown fond of it. It encapsulates well who I've become. We fought to tame Prince Orpheus, the son of Gith herself.
Orpheus? Impossible. He was slain by Justil Kithrak himself.
Quite possible, I assure you. His power has been the source of your continued protection against the voice of the Absolute. The power to disrupt hive-mind communication. It is the same power that enabled Orpheus's mother to bring about the fall of the Elitid Empire eons ago. A power she passed on to him, and that I leveraged for you. When Orpheus's mother left, a usurper took her place. Vlaakith declared herself queen of the Githyanki. Vlaakith wanted his power, but Orpheus rose against her, and so she sealed him and his honor guard within this prison. Bound by infernal chains, Orpheus could never leave. Bound by duty, his guard never would. They were close to breaking my hold on that prince. And if they had succeeded, we would be lost. I am relieved. You have embraced your potential enough that you could help me eliminate them. Alone, Orpheus will be much easier to control. Most certainly Orpheus. He is a threat to her reign. Some Githyanki still revere him in defiance of their teachings. Blackith was safe as long as they believed him to be dead. But as you can see, he is very much alive.
I don't understand. The histories claim the prince was burned to ash in the skies.
Your histories are fabrications. The prince was not killed. As you can very well see, he was in prison. She kept him this way because she was reluctant to eradicate such power. Power that she might one day wish to take from him. If the Githyanki ever find out what she has done, there will be civil war. Blackith will be finished. A very good question. One that I have been unable to answer. That Orpheus lives at all is ruinous to Blackith. She has done everything in her power to keep his existence a secret. That Gortash and the Chosen found out about it. This is impossible to explain. But it was important enough to them that Gortash sent me to retrieve it. The moment I found it, I felt a change. My free will returning. I followed the feeling inside, and found Orpheus. I realized what the prison was for. Containment. While my body was within the prison's bounds, my mind was free. I could resist the Elder Brain, the Chosen. Better yet, I could plan to overthrow them. All I needed to do was subdue Orpheus, and find allies in the outer world. You. That would be a terrible idea. The moment he is free, he will attack you. Your only defense would be to kill him, and in so doing, he would doom us both.
Even though he is subdued, you feel Orpheus's revulsion. A pulsing hatred that cannot be contained. The Emperor is telling the truth. To him, you are just another wretched illithid.
You carry a tadpole. As far as Orpheus is concerned, you are already a illithid. A sworn enemy, just like me. Denial will change nothing. You have already benefited from that tadpole of yours. You seek to reverse an inevitable process. A process of evolution. When I first escaped from the Elder Brain, I too railed against the change. But the longer I have inhabited this form, the more it has grown on me. Even if my original body remained intact after I transformed, I would not return to it. Doing so would only impose limitations. As an illithid, I have far surpassed who I ever was before. You too should embrace this change. I believe we'll have a better chance of defeating the Elden Rain if you embrace your latent illithid potential. I've been studying you for a while now. I believe I can trigger the next stage of your tadpole's life cycle, while continuing to preserve your independence. You have seen what I can do. Imagine yourself with the same strength, the same intelligence, the same devastating beauty. If you let me, I can evolve you. The answer is twofold. One, I can, but it would kill you, as I told you before. Two, why would I? You have done well with the limited form you have, but you would do far better as an illithid. So, do you wish to evolve or not? You will be able to do things you never thought were possible. There will be physical alterations, of course, but only partial. You will retain most of your current form, and you will soon see that the benefits outweigh any perceived loss.
Even as you say the words, you feel a lurch of disappointment. Your mind bristles with illithid potential. How could you be so cruel as to deny yourself what you want most in the world?
I felt that. It's your nature. You cannot fight it. So embrace it. It wants to evolve, but it cannot do so alone. It must commune with another.
You may resist now, but it's too late. You already embraced the powers the parasite gave you. You leveraged them to manipulate, to dominate, to survive. Your nature is no longer your own. You are well on your way to fulfilling your illithid potential. You are ready to evolve. A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens, its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is a veritable feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different. Your body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
You are exquisite. When your allies see what you can do, I hope you encourage them to try it for themselves. But we mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the brain, and bring it under our control.
Out of here, quickly! We'll speak after.
It is not the gate, it is Orpheus. The blood of the mother, the prince of the comet. The Emperor, yes. A stunning... Listen close. The Emperor spoke only in half-truths. For you, long ago, Tiamat, the first Vlaakith of many. But it was Orpheus... It was... Should Orpheus go free, we... Everyone... If forgive you... Inconceivable that we would seek release from one tadpole only for you to commune with another. I chide you if my mind were not consumed by the sight of Orpheus within his domed prison. The Prince of the Comet lives, but make no mistake. I can see the change in you, feel the parasite worming its way through you even further. You have invited your own misery. I will not break our alliance for it, but I will not condone it.
So, there's been a mind flayer inside the artifact, or astral prism, the whole time we've had it. Sounds like utter madness, even though I've seen it with my own eyes. The more I learn, the less I understand just why I was sent to retrieve that thing. But it matters little now. I do not serve Shah anymore, nor the Mother Superior. The prism is no longer my mission. Saving my parents is. But I digress. Did you want something? We've had a mind flayer whispering to us in our dreams all this time. I really shouldn't be surprised by anything at this stage. Still, it seems keen to be an ally in its own way. Compared to what we're up against, I'm not sure that's a bad thing. All's well, I hope? Aside from the obvious. More likely it would just put a stop to us. I wanted nothing to do with those Illithid powers before. What makes you think I'd want to jump into an even deeper hole? Do you know what this entails? Well, of course you do. But I don't want that for myself.
It's not over. Come to the skull. Hurry. I can't hold them back alone.